Hey everybody, don't want to miss today's show update on the Murdoch family murder saga. Yeah, stay tuned. Hey everybody, Crafting Journey here, that Journey chick over on Instagram, and The Leftovers, my other channel. Checked out that channel where I do yard sales, thrift shops, other kind of stores to support my new reselling business, however you call it, which officially starts Wednesday. I should have by the end of the week, I should have my eBay store open, and in there will be things for sale. I'm super excited. 2 more days of employment. So, welcome to the channel. Don't forget to hit the like button. Today's going to run the vacuum cleaner. Yes. I don't know how that's going to work out. So make sure you show some love to the like button. This does help the algorithm when you hit the like button, and it does help support the channel in little ways, and I appreciate it. Don't forget to share this video with someone who you think might enjoy having this to listen to while they craft, and subscribe if you're enjoying the content. Also, the notification bell you want to hit all so you don't miss a single episode of Crafting and Crime Daily. Today we are going to talk about an update on the Murdoch family saga. Oh my gosh, as we speak, I have a pretrial hearing that starts in the Murdoch case in 9 minutes. So make sure you stay tuned till the end so you hear how this pretrial hearing turned out. Now I'm going to tell you what the hearing's all about during the show today. So first, the Great Escape event. You guys, oh my gosh, let me show you where I'm at. This is diamond painting, if you're not familiar. I do all kinds of other crafts, but this is what I'm working on for this event that I'm sponsoring with my friend Mickey Sunshine Creates. So every Monday we show our progress. This is a piece of artwork that is called Gathering. It's by John Sloan, and it's offered by Diamond Art Club. So look at the barn. I finished the barn. There's some bling in the barn, and I'm working on this tree over here. Now, what's over here is like more sheep, more chickens, more flowers, more confetti. But isn't that gorgeous? Okay. Oh, wow. all the drills I've spilled. They just came down. All right. I had a little drill spillage yesterday. All right. Let's I love to tell you what the national day is. It is according to Hoyle Day. This is a very famous expression. People will say, according to Hoyle. This is named after a guy named Edmund Hoyle. In 1869, he invented this card game named Whist. He was the first technical writer on card games, board games, chess, checkers, all kinds of stuff, mostly card games, but he wrote a lot of books on the rules. He was very adamant about following the rules. So when you say something like that, according to Hoyle, you're meaning follow the rules, right? Yeah. So, how do you celebrate this day? Learn how to play the game Whist. So this was a game that was very popular during the 18th and 19th centuries. I have no idea how to play it. People still play it. I'm going to look it up. So here's what you could do to celebrate according to Hoyle Day. You could use that phrase as much as you possibly can today, according to Hoyle. If somebody's making lasagna, you say, hey, according to Hoyle, this is how you layer I can't talk, the lasagna pan. And, or you could learn how to play a game. Learn how to play a new game. Yeah. I'm going to look up the game Whist and see what that's all about. You know that they've got to have a computer version, right? There's got to be an app in the store about Whist, right? Let's look. Yes, there is an app for Whist. I'm going to learn it, and I'm going to tell you all about it tomorrow. If I have time tonight to learn it. It's Monday night. I don't have anything else to do. Why not? Let's learn it. Except I got to watch Big Brother. I don't know what happened on last night's episode, so don't tell me, no spoilers. All right, let's get the stuff out to diamond painting. Where did we do with the drills? Go with this. Huh. Oh, they're right here. Goodness, if it was a snake, it would have bit me. I'm going to turn on my light pad that I use to illuminate the symbols. Trying to get this tray open. All right, let's talk about Crafting and Crime Daily, because today is a very important hearing. There's a guy that I'm going to mention a lot, and I've got to look at his name while I say it, because it's spelled really weird. He is defending Alec Murdoch in this double murder case. His name is Dick Harpootlian. Harpootlian? Harpootlian. Dick Harpootlian. I'll put a picture of him here. He issued subpoenas to have 4 SLED people come to the courtroom this morning with certain items. Now, SLED is South Carolina's Law Enforcement Division. They apparently were the officers that were key investigating this double homicide. He has asked them to come to court with everything they have. Every piece of paper, every subpoena, every affidavit in support of a search warrant, every search warrant. This is very unusual, and he has asked them to come at 9 o'clock this morning in front of this judge. This is very unprecedented. And I will tell you, since this case has heated up, what happened is Alec Murdoch, through Dick Dick, let's just call him Dick. Through Dick, he has asked for a speedy trial in January. But it's the exchange of discovery has been very heated. As soon as the 30-day marks, when you ask for discovery, you have 30 days to respond to that request, and you've got to give them, the other side, what they've asked for, or file some kind of motion in, that says you don't want to give it to them and why you don't want to give it to them. But 32 days went by and nothing happened. So this Dick guy holds a press conference. Now, I think I told you about this last week. So we're waiting now. I've got the courtroom up here to see if these officers actually appear for this hearing. Now, there may be other substantive stuff going on in this hearing today. It's a pre-trial hearing. So usually at a pre-trial hearing, the judge just wants to go over what's the status of the case. So this is going to be interesting. Now, what I wanted to tell you about in the update is about this judge, Carmen Mullen, who was the judge in the case against Alec Murdoch. It was a civil case based out of the death of his housekeeper, Gloria Satterfield. Gloria Satterfield, I don't know if you recall, I'll put the playlist of all the Murdoch family murders here. You can look at the Gloria Satterfield video thing, whatever. She fell on the property of Alec Murdoch, allegedly because his dog swept her off her feet. She hit her head. She was hospitalized for 3 weeks, and then she died from her head injuries. This judge held a settlement conference in chambers, not in the courtroom. There was no motion filed to sign off on the settlement agreement. The litigation hadn't even begun. No one can figure out how in the world this insurance company, Alex's insurance, homeowners insurance, was convinced to pay multi-million dollars before litigation even started. There's like 4 pieces of paper in this file, and they meet in chambers. There's no motion. Corey Satterfield, the plaintiff's attorney, who's also best friends with Alec Murdoch, the defendant, he asked the judge, hey, can you just sign off this and let's keep Alec's name off the record, because we've still got that boating accident thing to deal with. They didn't want the plaintiffs in the boating accident, to know how much Alec's homeowner's insurance was paying to the Gloria Satterfield estate. Now, meanwhile, the personal representative of the estate, this is where this information has come from, he was deposed. In other words, he had to appear for a deposition. And this information came from him. So we have to assume that he's very credible. He is the vice president of the Palmetto State Bank. Now, as you recall, the president of Palmetto State Bank was arrested, and he's in jail, or he may have bonded out, but he was arrested for all this collusion with all this PR stuff. All right, this guy, Chad Westendorf, was friends with Alec Murdoch, and he uses friends during this deposition in more of like an acquaintance. He said, they grew up together, they went to school together. He didn't socialize with them, but they knew who each other were. So he is out at his hunting lodge, Chad is, and he gets a call from Alec Murdoch. He says, hey, can you be the personal representative of the estate of Gloria Setterfield? There's a fly in here. So he says yes. He doesn't know what it involved. He's put in touch with Corey, the plaintiff's attorney. He asked Corey, what do I need to do? Do I need to set up a bank account for the estate? And Corey's like, you don't need to do a thing. We'll handle everything. We'll let you know what you need to do. He's not told what he needs to do. Now, during this deposition, he is asked, do you know what it means to be a fiduciary? He's like, no, don't know. Now, this is a banker. How does a banker not know what it means to be a fiduciary? That's someone that's put in a position of trust, like for someone else's money. And you are, at this point, if you're personal representative of the estate, you're not only a fiduciary, you're an officer of the court. He knew none of this. Didn't know during this deposition. But during this deposition, he implicates Carmen Mullen, Judge Carmen Mullen, for signing off on the settlement agreement just weeks after she recused herself from being a judge in the boating accident because of her relationship with Alec Murdoch and his family. So she recuses herself from that, but she doesn't recuse herself from the Gloria Setterfield matter. Interesting. One civil case, but not the other. So they're meeting in chambers. Now, this is all according to this Chad Westendorf. They're meeting in chambers. She never once asked him, hey, is this settlement good with you? Do you think they got enough money for your clients? Do you think they explored every avenue they could? Are you okay with this settlement? Nothing, no conversation like that. She just signs off on it because Corey says, sign off on it and let's keep this out of the press. And she changed the caption. The caption gets changed and Alex Murdaugh's is dropped from the caption of this case because he didn't want that boating accident plaintiff to find out about the settlement. So now Carmen Mullen is under investigation for impropriety as a judge. Some people have speculated that this is all a ploy, the fact that this guy was even deposed and that we have this information, it's all a ploy to get this thing out of the state court because of corruption and into federal court so that, Alec can serve a nice sentence in a better prison. I don't know. Makes sense, but I don't know. Now, I have to tell you, I'm watching this hearing. It's 7 minutes past the time that the hearing was supposed to start, and there's no one in this courtroom. Absolutely no one. 2 people in the pews. Nobody else. No plaintiff, no defendant, no judge, no court reporter. Which I might add, during that settlement conference that was held in chambers, there was no court reporter. Nothing on the record. Then when she signed the order approving the settlement, Carmen Mullen, Chad says, I'll just file this later. It never gets filed. Nope, not in the file. And at this hearing, there was no one representing Alec Murdoch. Apparently, one of the attorneys for Alec Murdoch, hired by the insurance company, was on his way to this settlement conference, but they didn't wait for him. They just went ahead and had the conference without him. Now, here's what's going on this morning. I told you that Dick Harpootlian has subpoenaed 4 South Carolina Law Enforcement Division members, Ryan Kelly, Charles Gint, David Owen, and Ryan Neal, to appear in the courtroom today. Nope, still nobody in the courtroom. So, I will let you know how that turns out later. So the reason we're doing the Murdoch family updates today is because we wrapped up the case of the staged suicide on Friday with a verdict that you are not going to believe. Check out how this verdict turned out. You might want to fast forward through the first 25 minutes of this video because we are waiting for the judge, and check out the verdict towards the end. Also, The judge in the Nicholas Cruz sentencing trial gave everybody the day off, the jury gave them the day off on Friday so that the lawyers, the plaintiff lawyers, could take depositions of some of the defendant experts. Now, why this did not happen ahead of time, I'm not sure. But they are back in session this morning, and I'll be able to cover that. I don't know if there are any new trials that I'm going to be able to cover today, but, I'll have content for you tomorrow. I guess in South Carolina, 9 o'clock doesn't really mean 9 o'clock because I'm watching, people just kind of trickling into this courtroom. Interesting. Okay, I do have an update for you in this hearing on the defense's motion to compel and the plaintiff's motion for protective order, which they both got into a huge argument over who gets to go first. It was like, kindergarten there. That Harpootlian is probably one of the rudest lawyers I have ever seen in my life. Wow. And the judge was like not controlling the courtroom. Motion to compel was argued first. Harpootlian argued that under Rule 5, the prosecution should turn over the discovery within 30 days, and it took him 32. So then we heard the motion for a protective order. The prosecution argued that this was intense media coverage on this trial. This is an unprecedented case in the history of South Carolina. There's a long course of alleged criminal conduct in this case, and there's a lot of personal identification in this discovery, including phone dumps, affidavits, search warrants, other suspects, none of which should be disseminated into the public because it may not ever even come into a trial, so it should not be disseminated to the public. The lawyer for Alec Murdoch, Dick Harpootlian, tried to put a witness on one of these SLED officers, South Carolina Law Enforcement Division, a lieutenant. He wanted to put him on the stand in support of his motion to compel, and the judge says, no, we're not going to hear any witnesses on a motion to compel discovery. Harpootlian also argued that the motion for protective order should be more specific, that it was way too broad, that he would not be able to have access to his client. He wanted to give his client, Alec, the discovery so he could review it in his jail cell. As an attorney, he would be able to help with the defense of his case if he had access to it. If a protective order was granted, he would only have access to the discovery in the presence of the lawyer 1 hour every other day. So the judge ruled that the motion to compel was granted and that the prosecution should give the information over to the defense immediately. However, he also granted the motion for protective order, but he said it was temporary. Now, temporary could be up to the time of the trial, but he said any information that they discover independent of what's in this discovery is not protected and can be disclosed to the media. So included within this protective order is unsealing the affidavits in support of the search warrants and the search warrants themselves. All that information will be unsealed. It will be available for Alec Murdoch to review at the jail 1 hour a day on a laptop every other day. That's it. He cannot disseminate any of this information in the jail. He can't take any of the discovery with him into the jail. And he did not appoint a special master. That was requested by Harpootlian. He said, can we get a special master? What that is a retired judge that would be able to hear all these little discovery disputes without having to look at the circus that we looked at today, literally a circus, where Harpootlian thought he was the ringmaster. Not the judge. But the judge said, no, I will deal with anything as it arises. So more to come, guys. I haven't done any diamond painting while I've been talking to you. Oh, my word. So let's talk about this day in history. This day in history, August 30th, 1967, Thurgood Marshall, the first African-American, is appointed to the Supreme Court. He goes on to serve 24 years on the Supreme Court before retiring for health reasons. He was a strong advocate of supporting people's rights under the Constitution. Well, aren't they supposed to all be that way? I think that's what they're there for. Thurgood Marshall was from Maryland. He went to Howard University. He came back to Maryland to open his own practice. He won 29 of 32 cases that he argued in front of the Supreme Court. That's impressive. First of all, it's impressive that you're arguing in front of the Supreme Court. I just got to tell you how nerve-wracking that could be. Wow. In 1961, Marshall had been appointed to the U.S. Court of Appeals in the 2nd District by John F. Kennedy, and then later on to the Supreme Court by Lyndon B. Johnson. He was in favor of abortion rights. Sorry we lost him from the Supreme Court. And he was against the death penalty. So that's the show for the day, guys. I hope you enjoyed the content and the updates. Stay tuned for more Crafting and Crime tomorrow, and I will see you in my next video. Don't forget, we have a new video up on the Leftovers channel. Don't forget to check that out. Please help me out by subscribing and hitting the like button over there on that channel. Take care, everybody.